Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject custom quede cosa baba cosa felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Wanna Bet. I just want to make sure I get the show put out here. And NFL 2. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason. That's Ben.
There you go.
And this is Wanna Bet. We are here at this palatial studios of 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, where Ben and I work. So that's the different backdrop here. Ben's got his Wanna Bet. I've got these beautiful pictures behind me. Look, we do this 7 days a week. If you're new to the show, we give you all of our favorite bets that we've made across all the sports that we handicap professionally, full-time, year-round. First, second, third down, our three favorite plays we made since yesterday's show, because there's pretty much always a yesterday show. Fourth and long is long-term bets, futures bets. It also could be fourth and short, which are quick hitters to get you paid quickly. I will have a fourth and short in the Champions League's markets. And then overtime. Look, it's football season. It's football season. We have football and soccer parlays every day during the NFL and college season. And like most of the mooks out there, we hold ourselves to an incredibly high standard. We show all our work, what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, bets we're winning, bets we're losing. That record at the bottom is what we've done on every bet that we've given out on this show since we launched May 21st. All of our bets are available in real time on the Super Betting Discord. You can get the QR code right there, or you can go to our Twitter handles in our bios and get the link tree there for how to join. Eric Casilius, another professional handicapper, who you guys probably know from his time on TV, ESPN, elsewhere. He is with us as well. And again, we're giving you a volume of plays to choose from every single day. We had a good day in the Champions League yesterday. It was not outstanding. It wasn't as great as the previous match days. Basically, we needed one more goal from Liverpool. We needed a goal from Liverpool to get us a double there. We would have hit a plus 550 parlay. Look, I'm very comfortable with the way we played those games. Harry Kane could have had a goal in the first half. Bayern came out attacking like I told you they would. They didn't care that they were on the road against PSG, the mighty PSG. They were out for blood. Our guy Luis Diaz scores twice early. Kane had numerous chances to score in the first half. Diaz gets an unfortunate red card right before the half. And Bayern has to sit back in the second half and defend with 10 on the road against the mighty PSG. That really negated a chance for Kane to get us that anytime goal in the second half. So that worked against us. That's unfortunate. I still feel like we were all over that match. You know, Liverpool played their best game of the season. They had more possession than I thought. The goal they scored, I don't know. I've seen that called back on VAR for offsides numerous times before. If you're a fraction over, it's being called in some places. And Real, look, I'm really surprised they were not good for a goal. But that was our yesterday. In the NBA, look, I completely screwed up the Magic game. They had been shooting well, thought it would continue. Shame on me. That is a helter-skelter offense, and I should have laid off them in that spot against Atlanta. Beltway, Ben, how about your Tuesday night?
Worst night I've had in quite some time. I couldn't tell you the last time. We were down 6+ units. Wasn't very good. Edgecombe finishes with 4 assists. Had a ton of potential assists. Joel Embiid, pretty frustrated with that guy. I could talk a lot about it, but it is what it is. Steph Curry, 2 assists in the first quarter, feeling pretty good. Thought he would get to 6 because we cashed everything else in that parlay. We needed 6 assists from Steph. He gets 1 more the rest of the game. When he was sitting out, Pat Spencer, Baltimore legend, is doing everything. I mean, he had more assists than Steph. He had 4 in the first half. So that was also like a blowout in halftime, so I didn't feel great about that. We did split in that the Kentucky-Nichols game. We had Kentucky minus 28.5 plus Duke money line. Kentucky was up 28 with 20 seconds left. Instead of dribbling it out, they go for a bucket. I feel good, to which the 5-star freshman gets blocked from behind by a guy that's 5 inches smaller than him. They take it in transition and get a bucket. So They didn't cover, but Nichols did not score anything. If Kentucky's offense would have showed up at all. And also, I got duped. I read on Twitter that Jalen Lowe was going to be playing, was confident that he'd play,
Yeah.
which I found out a tip-off he's not playing. It happens, especially early in the year. College reports are always shaky. This isn't the professionals where even those sometimes can get shaky, but college, they really keep things from you. Read what I thought was John Rothstein. I think I might have gotten duped there. So Jalen Lowe did not play. And then all of our parlays lost. Brandon Ingram, 15-plus points, 13 points in a blowout, was kind of sitting the fourth quarter out when he was on the court, and ends up scoring just 13. So, unfortunate day. One of the worst that I've had in a while, but I'm confident we'll get it back.
Yeah, I'm looking to have a Champions League match day to match what we did last week, which was hit 14 straight Champions League bets. So let's go onward and upward, Beltway Ben. Again, this has been an incredibly profitable enterprise if you've managed to tail every single bet we've given out, which do the numbers. We're in the thousands of bets. That's high volume, and we're providing return. First down, I'm going to go to the NBA. Have not had a great week in the NBA, had a great first week. Things have tailed off for me a little bit lately, but I do like this parlay. Give me the Rockets to win over a Memphis team that's been way more bad than good. And give me the Pistons at home to hold the Jazz under 114 points. So Rockets money line, Jazz team total under 113.5 plus 112. Memphis looks all out of sorts. John Morant trade rumors heating up already. They really missed Desmond Bane, but I understand why they had to move on from him. They've been erratic offensively or defensively. You look at their wins. They beat a Pelicans team the first game of the season. They beat an Indiana team that's been unable to beat anybody, and they beat a Phoenix team that's been unable to beat anybody. The other games they played, the losses have generally all been blowouts, and every game they've lost by at least 5, and all but one of those games they've lost by basically double digits or more. I like what the Rockets are starting to sort out. Life with KD, how ball dominant different people need to be, the whole sorting out of the point guard thing, and Amen Thompson seems to be going pretty well for me, and they've been motivated for these games, and I like them to win that game. Utah came out of the gates, Ben, scoring like crazy the first couple games. We're like, are they not trying to tank? What's going on with Utah? Well, let's see. They're on a long road trip right now, and lately they've scored 105, 107, 96, and 104 points. I'm not sure anybody's going to go for 50 for them tonight, and short of that, they're having a hard time breaking 110. This is their 4th straight game on the road. They're playing against the Pistons team that's won 3 in a row, allowing 110 or less in those games. The Pistons have allowed 111 or less in 5 of their 7 total games. And here we're looking them to hold the Jazz under 114. I'm not sure that the Pistons beat them by 30 or anything like that, in which case it's probably a lower pace game. I think they take the air out of the ball. And frankly, it wouldn't shock me if they hold Utah below 110, but we're playing it at 114. First down, Beltway Ben.
First down, we're going to a college prop. One of the areas we've loved to attack when we can. And I'm hoping this sticks around. I'm hoping other books buy into what FanDuel's doing because it is cool that these aren't player props, but they're as close to it as we can get. Toledo over 141.5, team rushing yards minus 112. Now, I talked about college injury reports before. Chip Traynham, who spent 2 years at Ohio State, he was at Kentucky, he's played at the big level, never really broke out the way that some of these bigger schools thought he would. This year at Toledo, we're finally seeing that. And sometimes it takes guys for that. Go down a little bit in level, and we finally see them really do what they can when they're not in a backfield with 3 5-stars next to him, always chipping at their carries. Now, when he's been on the field, he's been very good, 100-plus rushing yards in like 80% of his games that he has played in. But he's questionable, as I said. The way that this Maction works, they had played last Saturday, had all these days off, and they don't have to play again until Wednesday. To me, it's basically a bye. Now, you're playing on Wednesday. It's a little bit shorter, but he does get extra time to sit off because he didn't play that week either. I'd expect him to be back. They've cashed this in all 4 wins this year. They're a 14.5-point favorite tonight against Ball State. Now, let's look at what Ball State's done defensively. 139 in a loss by 14. Miami of Ohio, ran all over them. 197. San Diego State, 151. That was a 6-3 win, so they still cleared that in a 6-3 win. Ohio regular, 333. Maryland was a team who didn't, and that was a step up in competition for them. Maryland doesn't run against anybody. They throw the football a lot. That's how they play things. And really, when you look at Mississippi State, 292, they also can throw the football and don't need to run a ton. They ran all over them. 5 of 8 games, they've allowed opponents over this, and the 2 losses were pretty tight. I do expect Toledo to keep this on the ground. They are a 14.5-point favorite, as I said earlier. If they're up 2 scores late, we're going to see a lot of rushing. And one thing you love with this, compared to player props, I don't care who is on the field. If it is that Trainum can't go, the other guys will be fine. We saw their second-string running back run for 100-plus the last time he was on the field. So I am fine, and I trust their offensive line to not take enough sacks. They haven't taken a lot. Don't really have a mobile quarterback, but he has had a few games where he's been able to get out and make some plays with his legs. I do like Toledo over 141.5 rushing yards as a team at minus 112.
Second down for me, we are going to Cyprus. We are going to Villarreal at Paphos. Paphos, great story, wild story. Team from Cyprus, qualifies for the Champions League, and they get a 0-0 draw. That's a team from Azerbaijan, but still it's a Champions League game. They get a Champions League result, and I think some people get excited about them. Hey, and look, the 0-0 with Olympiacos, it's a nice result. They did lose 5-1 to Bayern as well, so that's what they've done in the Champions League. But I'm looking at what they're doing domestically in Cyprus. I mean, this is not high-tier soccer. They're only second in the table. They have 2 losses in 9 matches, just a plus 12 goal differential, and this is playing against absolute minnows. Then I'm looking at Villarreal, who are looking at other big sides, and the massive one-sided results that they've put up, which pushes Villarreal down the table. And they not only need to get wins and road wins, they need to do it with some volume. They need to score behind it. They need to get the goal differential going in their favor. If you look at what they've done since the disappointing 0-2 loss to Man City in Champions League, they've played 3 times. They've got a 6-0 result, a 4-0 result, and a 2-0 result against Valencia. Legitimate opposition. They did get a draw against Juve in Champions League, even though, again, it hasn't been the start everybody wanted. I think they bounce back big here. I think they win this match by at least 2 goals. So we've got Villarreal -1, -110. If they win by 1, we push. I also like Villarreal to win the 0, which means they win the match and they do not give up a goal against in the process. That will get you plus 120. And again, that one's kicking off at 12:45 Eastern time, so in about 40 minutes. So that one is timely. Second down, Beltway Ben.
We're going back to the NBA here. From yesterday, we didn't have a good day, and that's going to happen. There were a lot of blowouts, a lot of things that finished unlucky for us, but not going to shy away. I do like NBA plays, and we've had a lot of success with this year. Aaron Nesmith, over 2.5 3-pointers made at -135. Shop around. You'll see him in the -150s on some books, but you can get it down to -135. The Nets are allowing 15 3-pointers per game made, which is the 4th most in the NBA. I talked about them a week ago when we were talking about Trae Young props. They are one of the worst defenses we've seen in a long time to start a season. They just have not been good. Now, Aaron Nesmith, we know all the injuries that Indiana has dealt with. It's kind of forced him to play a bigger role. The game 1, he goes 1 for 3 against OKC. Fouls out, dealt with a lot of foul trouble in that game, a lot different defense. 4 for 6 the next game, 5 for 12. Then all of a sudden you start dealing with injuries. 1 for 9, 2 for 8, 5 for 11, 2 for 9. He's shooting 9+ 3-pointers per game this season. He's taking the opportunities.
Yeah.
You have a team who's not defending him well in Brooklyn. I just don't know how he doesn't go over this. I think it's a fair price for what he is. Now, there also is a book, Bet365. We give them quite a few shout-outs on here. You can take 3-point opportunities, and his number's 8.5 at plus money. I will check myself off for a full unit play, a 1-unit play, over 8.5 3-point attempts, and that is plus money. Look what he's doing. With all these scores out, he is chucking, and he hasn't had a ton of success. That's not stopping him. Like I said last game, 2 for 9 against Milwaukee, 5 for 11 against Golden State. This isn't just a one-time thing. He is shooting it when he touches it, and I'm confident that will continue tonight. They need him to score. I think this will be a high-scoring game. Indiana's not doing great. They need some help, and this is a guy who we saw really explode in the big moment last year in the playoffs. With all the guys out, I think he comes to play tonight. Aaron Nesmith, over 2.5 3-pointers made at -135 and 8.5 attempts at plus 110.
Yeah, look, we're getting no money from sportsbooks, unlike pretty much every bullshitter in this industry. But I will say Bet365, if you're not betting soccer with them, you're doing it wrong, especially like we're going to get to this Holland bet, like Erling Haaland. Like if he gets subbed off, like let's say you play him to score 2 goals, and I'm not, but if you do, and he scores 1, and then he picks up an injury, and another striker comes in for him and scores, you cash the bet. Like their early payouts on soccer are way better than anybody else. And frankly, people have been asking in the YouTube, hey, tell us the odds for this one and that one. And I'm not going to tell you every single time because, again, like if you shop around, it's constantly changing as well.
Exactly.
But pretty much every soccer bet I'm making is with Bet365 because they're giving better odds than any other book almost all the time. Like not all the time, but almost all the time, including Third Down, where I played this bet with them. Barca laying a goal plus 125. Look, Club Brugge, not a total pushover, but we need to be real about, the league they play in versus Barcelona playing in La Liga. Club Brugge got whacked in some of their earlier Champions League games. And I just think this is another spot where we've seen cream rising. And Barca survived a lot of key injuries earlier, and we're still getting results. And I think they're in much better form here, and I think they're much healthier to find a way to win this match by multiple goals. Like, Club Brugge is a +9 goal differential in the Jupiler League, like in Belgium. Like, come on. Like USG, who we talked about yesterday, is +21 goal differential in the league. Like these guys are +9. It would not shock me if this is a situation where Barca scores 4 or more goals. Again, those kind of score lines have not been unfamiliar at all. And this is also, a Bruges side that's conceded 12 goals in 9 league games in Belgium. And now they're getting Barca out for blood. So there's a lot of different ways you could play this, but Barca need to improve their road form. This is a great spot to do it, and I think they win this game by multiple goals. And again, if they win by 1, then we push. Third Down, Ben?
Third Down, we're going back to the NBA. We will play Peyton Pritchard over 5.5 assists at plus money, plus 115. You can get that at. Too good to pass on. He's the primary ball handler. He's playing a lot. We're seeing him dish out a lot of assists, and we saw it really from the jump. Like to start the year, he was over this a bunch. He was over in 3 of his first 4. Now, since under in 3 straight, they haven't played great offensively. You guys like Derek White missing.
White's not shooting like he should be.
Right.
He's missing threes he should make.
Right. So I do think that we'll see better shooting against the Wizards, as every team in the NBA always does in these matchups. It should be a relatively tight game because the Wizards have this thing where, and me and my dad were talking, he's like, bet the Wizards first quarter or first half and the team on the full game, because the Wizards will get out to a lead and all of a sudden they'll fade it away, and they don't play well in the second half. Now, Boston, on the other hand, hasn't played great either, as I said before.
No.
Like they're not playing very good. But the Wizards, they're allowing 29 assists per game to opposing NBA teams, 3rd most in the NBA. As I said before, both of these teams, because to me, Boston might be tanking as well. They know when to tank. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those both work very well for them. I think Peyton Pritchard, even in the games where they're tanking, he's playing 30-plus minutes. As long as the Wizards can keep this relatively close, if Tatum's playing, it's a different story. Tatum's out. Boston's playing tight games with bad teams, and the Wizards have been able to stick in some of these games. I think we see 30-plus minutes from Pritchard, and if that's the case, for a primary ball handler, a guy who, he can score 30. He's done it before, but he's more focused on assisting, getting the higher paid guys the ball, and letting them work out. So I do like Peyton Pritchard over 5.5 assists and at plus money, plus 115.
Excellent. 4th down for me is a 4th and short. I like how you can change that, Beltway, Ben. Look at that.
Pretty damn cool.
They're throwing so much at you, Beltway, Ben, and you're on top of it. You're on top of it. You are the ultimate glue guy. So we're going to go to Erling Haaland to score the first match in this Man City Dortmund game. City don't travel so well. City get the job done at home. Like City have scored like 18 or 19 total goals in their competitive matches. Beltway, Ben, when you look at Premiership and Champions League. I'm not going to look at EFL, League Cup, because Haaland sits those games out. He's got like 16 goals. Nobody else on the team has more than 2. And only one guy has more than 1. He is the goal scorer. They outscore you at home, and he does tend to score early in matches. 17th minute, 33rd minute, 9th minute, 9th minute, 34th minute, 34th minute, 17th minute, 15th minute, 44th minute. Now, I'm not going to lie to you about Dortmund. You study Dortmund, they don't concede a ton. Like, even when Bayern Munich took it to them in the Alliance Arena, it was only 2-1, and Bayern only got 1 in the first half. But they can't score at all. And yes, they don't concede a lot in the first half, but you're not telling me that they're keeping Man City off the scoreline. Haaland's in great form. He will play the full 90 if he has to. If it's somehow 0-0 in the 80th minute, I'm not worried about him being subbed off. He takes all the pens. He scores with his head. He is the primary target guy on any kind of set piece. And obviously he can score with both feet. He's one of the top 3 strikers in the world. And I don't think Dortmund goes on the road and keeps a clean sheet. But look, they're not a team that's conceding first all over the place. So I'm not going to sell you on the bet that way. But for Haaland to score, which he's doing at an absolutely ridiculous rate, plus 250. And again, Dortmund is struggling to score against lower level Bundesliga sides right now. So I don't do a lot of this. I don't love these markets. I think while there is certainly variance and oscillation and luck, for lack of a better word, in all of these, in any sporting event among humans that you're gambling on, those first and last markets generally don't appeal for me unless it's like this, where the team they're playing is struggling to score against bad teams at home. And now they've got to go on the road against a team that's in good form, that scores a ton of goals at home, that has a top 3 striker in the world who is fully fit and ready to go and sat out those EFL matches midweek last week just for this night. And he's the only guy on that team who's really scoring. I got to go there, Beltway Ben. 4th and long or short with you?
Yeah, real quick. I do love when like a sportsbook social media will post somebody with a 10 leg to score first parlay and it cashes and they post it. And then everybody wants to take it. And everybody's like, well, you saw they posted that. Look at that guy who won this. If one of these books was losing money off of these, they wouldn't be posting it. They wouldn't be hyping it up. So it does just always make me laugh when people
if there was a requirement that anytime you do that, you also have to post the number of 3-leg or more first to score a touchdown or a goal parlays that missed, and your total handle taken on those versus what you paid out, they would stop. They would stop promoting the 1 in a million, the unicorn that got there. Because trust me, it's a unicorn.
No, absolutely. That's it's just like with a lot of parlays when people are always telling me like, I saw that dude hit for $1 million. Like, you'll play it to have fun, but it's not profitable. They push it for that reason because they know how much they're bringing in. Exactly.
It's a needle in a haystack.
They're making their buildings off of your 50-leg anytime touchdown, which I don't even know there's 50 touchdowns that week. Yeah. But here, we're going to take a 4th and short, and we're not getting plus money here. We're taking it to minus 125 just because I like these 3 things a lot. Neemias Queta, 1+ first quarter rebound. He's done this in 5 straight. It's the Wizards who are allowing more rebounds than anybody in the NBA. I'm not really worried with him. And he's probably going to play 6 to 7 minutes, 8 maybe. And if that's the case, like, this is a Wizards team that Alex Sarr he's a diverse player. You don't find a lot of guys that stretch it the way he does. So Queta might not be out there throughout the game. That's why I'm not worrying about any of that. He's going to start the game. We'll get him in the first quarter, so we'll take 1+ first quarter rebound. Mazzulla will adjust later. Derek White and Kuminga, 3+ first quarter points at minus 125. We've talked about Derek White a lot on this show. With all of that being said, he still has had a lot of success scoring in the first quarter. The issue is as the game goes on, he's not doing it. He's over this in 5 straight as well, or 4 of 5. And like, the Wizards don't defend. They just don't. Pritchard, as I talked about before, he's the primary ball handler. White will bring it up the court a little bit, but when Pritchard has the ball in his hands, it gives White the ability to set up and get ready for the 3. If he knocks down 1 3 in the first quarter, we'll be good. He's going to play 7 to 9 minutes. I do think we see him get 2 buckets here, 4 3+ first quarter points. And then the cum bucket, Jonathan Kuminga. I don't see. It's a great nickname, the cum bucket. Have you never heard that? You've never heard that?
I have not.
You've really never heard the cum bucket?
I have not. No.
Wow.
I've heard that term.
No,
not applied to him.
He's the cum bucket.
I like watching him play. I can't call him that. Even when he's like too manic and hyper, I like watching him play.
Yeah, he's the cum bucket.
He brings energy. He's never short of energy. Or I guess in this case, we'd call it spunk.
Whatever that is that? Yeah, oh, that's good. I like that. But no, Kuminga, 3+ first quarter points at -125. No Jimmy Butler, probably. He's doubtful, whatever they want to call that. I'm not fully sure. Steph Curry's already out. Now, I've been pretty frustrated with them. If Kuminga wouldn't have got what I needed to last night, and Steph goes over, I'd have been frustrated because Kuminga's done that in all of his games. But here, we just need 3+ in the first quarter. His number's super high. Like, he's going to play, again, another guy, 8, 9, 10 minutes in the first quarter. Steve Kerr is very odd with his rotations, but I'm not too worried about that. I do expect him to play regular minutes in the first quarter, regular minutes throughout the game, because they're going to need him against this Kings team that can score. They don't defend well, and Kuminga will look for his shots. He's going to drive to the bucket. He'll get to the free throw line. And if you tell me you don't have their 2 top scorers, can Draymond steal 8 points? Yes. But Draymond in these spots loves assisting, which we will get to in overtime. He likes setting up some of the smaller guys, the non-scorers, and that's what I think he'll do tonight. So I do like Jonathan Kuminga, 3+ first quarter points, Derek White, 3+ first quarter points, and Neemias Queta, 1+ first quarter rebound.
Excellent. I guess just do all my overtimes together. All right, I got 3 overtimes. We will start with our Champions League parlay. Again, we hit 3 legs of it yesterday, needed a draw or a win out of Real. Didn't get it, lost 1-0. Let's stick with our guy, Erling Haaland, we just spoke about. Anytime goal. Don't care if it's first, last, whatever. For these purposes, it'd be great if it's first. Milan is playing a team from Kazakhstan. I'm not going to belabor the point of Inter Milan against Kairat. They're favored by 3.5 to 4 goals. Let's take them to win by 2 here, which means if they win by 2, Milan -2. If they win by 2, we push that leg. We need them to win by 3. This could be a 6-1 type of game. And then we've talked about Barca and Villarreal and why we like them laying a goal. For these purposes, we're just taking them on the money line. So Villarreal and Barca to win, Milan to win by 3 goals, Haaland to score, plus 327. We've also got a couple football parlays that we made that we like. Look, there's some quarterbacks in this league who are just rising above and beyond. Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, and Josh Allen are 3 of them. Josh Allen basically throws for 3 touchdowns every time he faces the Dolphins. It happens almost religiously. He always throws for 2, and he usually throws for 3. Here we're going to go with 2 against the Dolphins team that traded Jalen Phillips, that wanted to trade other people, that just got eviscerated by Lamar playing on one leg the other night, coming back from a long-term injury, who can't stop anybody, and Josh Allen destroys them. It's historically significant if you look at what Josh Allen has done against Miami. Stafford's playing against San Francisco. They don't have Fred Warner anymore. They had him before. They're still beat up on defense. They don't have a pass rush. And last time out, the Rams played with their food and messed around and lost the game to the 49ers that they should have won. But, Beltway Ben, Stafford, who has 21 passing touchdowns, leading the NFL, had 375 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in that game. And if they didn't dick around handing the ball off in the red zone, he would have had 4 or 5. So Stafford for 2 touchdowns. And Lamar Jackson, who's averaging 3 a game. Remember, he missed a lot of time. Who's playing on a team that needs to win every game possible, that has a horrible defense that didn't get any better at the deadline, and now all of a sudden Minnesota's offense looks alive. The Ravens play nothing but over games with Lamar. They're all shootouts, and dirty little secret, they don't run the ball like they used to. And their short yardage run game has been horseshit all year, even with Derrick Henry. And I know Pat Ricard's back. It's still a problem. Lamar Jackson also throws for 2 touchdown passes. So those 3 guys that throw for 2 or more touchdown passes. Oh, yeah, Minnesota's a bottom 10 in opposer passer rating. Minnesota is not getting pass rush without blitzing. If you blitz Lamar, he will burn Flores. Now, I know Flores got him on a Thursday night when he was in Miami. There's also the time that Flores faced Lamar and he put up 59 points and 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. So that happened too. You blitz this version of Lamar, you're in trouble, and nobody blitzes like Flores. So all those 3 guys to throw 2 or more touchdowns plus 246. I also played them each to throw 3 or more touchdowns, and that'll get you plus 30-20. That is 30-1. It's not out of the question for these guys to do it. They've done it against these opponents. They've done it against, frankly, better defenses. And I think if you look at where these teams are, Buffalo's being pushed by New England like never before. Buffalo put up, 30-some points last time against Miami, and they took their foot off the gas most of that game. The last 2 games, Buffalo's not taking the foot off the gas. Stafford, McVay wants to put it to Shanahan. He let Shanahan burn him last time out. It's not happening again, and I don't think he's going to stop throwing the football this time. And it's Lamar against the defense that I think he can shred in a dome on a fast track. So if they each throw 3 touchdowns, that's 30-1. Overtime, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, we'll start here. Jonathan Kuminga, 15-plus points. I talked about him before.
Yep.
Draymond Green, 5-plus assists. Keyshawn George, 10-plus points. And Aaron Nesmith, 2-plus three-pointers made, plus 131. Even in the games where he struggled a little bit shooting the 3, 2 has not been out of the question. It's never going to be when you're taking 9 3-pointers per game. Draymond, I touched on him before. I am very high on his assists tonight. Steph steps out. You're facing a Kings team that, as I said before, they're going to play fast. They allow a lot of assists, but they can score and match whatever Golden State is doing. Draymond's going to have the ball in his hands. He knows the type of vet that he is. He tries to lead a lot of guys a lot. And there's a difference with playing with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. He can get them involved. But sometimes when he's playing with the Pat Spencers and he's playing with the Trace Jacksons Davises, he wants to show that he's the guy. He can make them work. And he'll add the assists. He doesn't need to score 20-plus points, even though that's rare for Draymond. He doesn't need to do that. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. He's going to get these guys involved. And they do have guys like Kuminga, as I said before, who have scored the 20-plus regularly and who can really take the ball to the basket off of a Draymond pass. They move well. They're well coached by Steve Kerr, so I do like Draymond, 5-plus assists. Keyshawn George, the most hype for the Wizards in a while. This guy is a very good young player. He's had some struggles after that 30-plus point game, but he's still going over 10. He's done it routinely. Only 1 game this year he hasn't done it. And Nesmith I talked about before. So real quick, Kuminga 15-plus points, Draymond 5-plus assists, Keyshawn George 10-plus points, and Aaron Nesmith 2-plus three-pointers made. That's plus 131. Our other play, just 3 legs here. We're mixing stuff that we have again. Keldon Johnson 10-plus points, Peyton Pritchard 4-plus assists, which we talked about before, and Draymond Green 4-plus assists, plus 120. Touch on Draymond, touch on Peyton Pritchard against the Wizards, who are allowing the 3rd most assists in the NBA. Keldon Johnson, he's done this in almost every game this season. He's not going to play 30-plus minutes, but he is playing 24 to 25. And when he is in, he is looking for his shot like anybody else. He is trying to get his buckets. Played at Kentucky, was a 5-star, knows what he can do scoring. Now, they're going to pull him out. They don't love him out there chucking all game, but 24 minutes should have no issue. Against LA, the lights are bright. He knows that type of matchup. Been around the NBA for a few years. Very good off the bench. I don't think we see an issue with him scoring 10-plus points. And the Lakers, as I said, they're not doing well against small forwards. And that's what you would classify Keldon Johnson as here. So Keldon Johnson, 10-plus points. Peyton Pritchard, 4-plus assists. And Draymond Green, 4-plus assists, plus 120.
Excellent. Beltway Ben, as we always do, let's let the people know again
I do.
What we did last night. Did I forget something?
No, I just wanted to make a note. We did have a YouTube commenter, someone who went to Nichols. I did spell Nichols wrong here. I spelled it right yesterday. I was in a rush. We had a meeting this morning. Spelled Nichols.
There's a lot going on.
1 L. That's my bad. I just want to apologize to the Nichols grad. Appreciate your support.
If we bet on Nichols again, whether we fade them or back them, I will be on the lookout for that. I'm the professional quasi-journalist. I should have caught that. So that's on me. I'm the official ombudsman of WannaBet. Look, if you're watching this, please think about just subscribing to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get that. If there's days you can't listen live, or you can't watch live, or you'd rather just listen in the car or listen wherever, we definitely are trying to build up the audio side of this as well. And I said it before, I'll say it again. Once Ben and I are able to catch our breath, we will start doing some bets that we just put out on the audio. The Super Discord is up there. And yeah, look, we put our stuff up there when we don't have great nights. And this has not been an awesome week for me by any stretch of the imagination. But we'll keep looking to find strategies and putting more time and effort in and trying to find potential inefficiencies in this market, in these markets. I guess tomorrow is Thursday, noon. I guess regular tomorrow, we thinking, Ben?
Yep, back to regular.
All right, so there you go. Fired up for Champions League. Fired up for NBA tonight, and NFL just around the corner again tomorrow. And we have been really doing the job on these single game NFL primetime windows. And there's some things I definitely like about tomorrow night's game. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. You want to bet, we want to bet. Thank you for betting with us.